Left back in the changing room.
Hey!
Way indeed. Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining again. If this is a regular show for you, and if it's your first time, thank you also for listening in. You have joined the Left Back in the Changing Room podcast, the podcast for people that didn't quite make it as football players, but we think we're bloody good managers, fantasy managers, that is. I'm joined by a star-studded cast today. You'll have heard them already on the line. We have got none other than the LA captain. It is Captain Russ. Hello, Russ.
Good evening. Good. Excellent. How are you guys? Are you all right?
All well, mate. All well.
Excellent. Yeah.
And there's the man. There is the man, Ricky Pellegrini himself.
Hey! Hello, lads. How are you? All joining by phone this week, I see.
We are. We're all on the old dial-in. We're based over here in New York. It is Martin Luther King Day, of course. We've also got NVD. There he is. He's flown back in from England. He's been over scouting on the old Liverpool. How are you, NVD? I'm sure you're very happy after yesterday.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yes. Seeing what the lowdown is in my private meetings with Klopp. He's kind of giving me the lowdown on who to triple captain this week. Nice flight back, watching the game at 35,000 feet, and only too happy when I landed in New York with a 2-0 victory.
Oh, you had the game on the plane, did you, MBD?
Yeah, I had some cheeky little Liverpool fan who was sitting next to me, and shout out to him. I can't remember his name, not really important, but he...
Did you check to see if you had your wallet after the flight?
I'm sure NVD had his, mate, and the phone. NVD's got a new Sky Go membership. I didn't hear anything about the game, mate. You broke up there. I did hear that Klopp has given you some tips about the this week, so I'll be looking forward to hearing that from you later. You can divulge later on in the podcast, Neil. It does certainly help us out there. But I think, one place to start would be that game, the Liverpool-Manchester United game. I think it was the juiciest fixture of the weekend, and unfortunately Manchester United, I said we were going to do you last week. We just didn't have the quality, I don't think. We lacked a little bit in the final third with Rashford being out, and then obviously a little bit of normal Scouser cheating, especially on that second goal that should have been a free kick. He booted it downfield. It was clearly offside. Everyone was waiting for him to place it down. Shouldn't have stood. It should have been 1-0. Was that your take as well, NVD?
Real sour grapes. No, I don't really think that's a take on the game, to be honest. But I think you and all the listeners worldwide, because we are worldwide, knew that. I think, to be honest,
it pains me to say it, mate. The best team won.
We controlled the game. We control the game. Yeah. As I said before we started recording, VAR, proof that VAR doesn't always go our way. I think Firmino's goal should have stood, and I guess for those in the FPL managers with him and their team as well as Mane, they would have been hoping that goal would have stood. I didn't really see any kind of blatant foul from Van Dijk on De Gea, so that kind of left me a little bit.
To be honest, your namesake, VVD, he had quite a good game, old Virgil. Good header, nice goal, but he did headbutt David De Gea in the face. You can't really do that sort of thing.
Mate, I think you get yourself down to Specsavers, mate.
But I think the screen your guy had must have been too small, mate.
Yeah. But I think kind of the interesting thing from a Manchester United perspective is that you did create chances, and like you said, kind of lack that conviction in the final third. And to be honest, I think kind of if you think about Martial's miss, which was shocking, to be honest, for a player of his quality.
It too hard. Just hit it too hard.
And you think to yourself, well, actually, if Rashford was in that position, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, 100%, you would have smashed that in. So I think, it
was wonderful skill from Martial to get in that position. But yeah, I mean, there was one from Pereira in the first half. I don't know how he didn't get his foot on it, but as you say, I mean, there was those two chances. Liverpool did control the majority of the game, but they're the things you've got to score against Liverpool, them chances. Otherwise, you don't have a chance, and you do end up losing 2-0.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, we saw the game out, and obviously kind of a nice way for Mo Salah to break his duck against Manchester United as well with that kind of last minute goal. Mm-hmm. And I guess for those that had Alisson in their teams, got a nice little cheeky assist as well as a Cleany as well. So
Cleany,
yeah, cheeky assist and a Cleany from Alisson. Yeah, he was the goalkeeper of the week, wasn't he? In the
did you see him run up the pitch as well? He ran the whole length of the pitch, didn't he? He loved it, didn't he? He was lapping that right up. He was loving it.
Mate.
He was.
He really was.
He obviously picked himself in fantasy football, mate, in his league.
Yeah,
that's why he was celebrating. Get the 3 points.
I've got to say, that's one way, though, to really upset your fellow, other people. Well, not other people. There's one way to piss fans off, I believe. I just noticed, I was just looking at the Dream Team here. So, actually, Alisson didn't get in the Dream Team. It was Casaniga from
Casaniga,
Spurs.
That's weird.
He saved a penalty. Who missed that penalty, Captain? Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't.
Jimmy Varney. He didn't watch his own game.
So Troy Deeney missed it, of course, lads. So Troy Deeney missed a penalty against Spurs. So that's why Casaniga got in the Dream Team. But ahead of that Dream Team, I guess listeners, you'll be keen to hear how we did in the New York City Brit Street Boys League. We are, of course, Englishmen in New York, expats trying to bring the game, the wonderful game, to the Americans. They still seem to think football is with a egg-shaped ball. It's hard work educating these people, but here we are. And in the NYC Brit Street Boys League, Sean the John McGinn fanboy, if you're a regular, you'll know he's top of our league. He's unfortunately not able to be here today. He is on a coach on the way back from Philadelphia. He's gone to get a few Philly steaks to celebrate his position at number 1 in the league. He got 54 points, still in first. Easy.
I was listening to the last 10 minutes about you crying about Man United, and I thought, let's just see when I would jump in there.
There he is. He's back with his Philly cheesesteak.
I don't know what was better, Man United's performance or your whiskey sour from the Bodega bar.
It's true. I was with Sean the John McGinn fanboy in Philadelphia. Long story short, I asked for a whiskey sour, and the lady behind the bar was fairly new, didn't know what she was doing, put lots of ingredients in, had a little sip herself as we watched from a distance, and screwed her face up in disgust, and then served it to me after that. And I can report it was horrendous. But there we go. I drank it.
How was it, lads? How was Philly? Tell the listeners.
Excellent place. Yeah, definitely should get down there. We had a good time, didn't we, Sean?
We sure did. We managed to taste the Philly cheesesteak, and we actually ran up the steps like Rocky.
We did. We
Rockied it up. The statue of the greatest fighter ever.
Yeah, there was a queue for that, though, wasn't there? You couldn't get there's a big queue to get a photo next to the statue of Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, how long was the queue?
So, well, luckily, Sean and myself, we were recognised by a couple of Left Back in Fantasy podcast listeners, and they shepherded us to the front. De Niro was also around, and he helped us up there. So, all that said, Sean, you are number 1 still in the league. I'm going to run down it very quickly. Ricky Pellegrini.
I'm scared though. Ricky Pellegrini. What a week.
What a week,
second. Yeah.
I needed that.
A big 7-0, Ricky. 70, well above 44, which was the average for the week. Wow. So excellent performance there. Captain Russ has slipped. You have taken him, Ricky. You've gone from I think, what was it, 6 weeks ago, you were sitting in 5th position. We were calling you Ricky from 5th position. We were disdainfully mocking you, and you've turned it around in 6 weeks, Ricky. I think we're going to have to have a bit of a deep dive into the Ricky Pellegrini rascals here. What's happened, mate? How did you get 70 points?
Well, I was 1 week too late on Aguero, but as they say, better late than never, right? And I just had a feeling that Aguero was going to continue that form from last week, albeit he did get those 2 goals, in the last 10 minutes or so. So it was looking for most of the game to be a wrong decision, especially at Palace went up, 1-0 to begin with in that game, and Palace do seem to be bit of a bogey team for Man City. So that was the only caution. But I did put Vardy as my vice captain, and I know a lot of people were still going for Vardy as the captain because it was about time that he got back on the score sheet. But as we know, he missed that penalty. To my delight, really. Shocking. Even though he's in my team, I knew that everyone else had him. I know De Bruyne was actually the top picked, captain of the game week, but I, avoided him as well. But long story short, Aguero, 26 points. Alexander-Arnold with the 10 points as well, clean sheet, and the assist there, and Nick Pope in goal.
Did you take Burnley. Sorry, Rick, I was going to say, did you take a hit to get Aguero in the team, or you just had the funds available?
I had the extra transfer. No, I had the funds available. I beg your pardon. Yes, I didn't take it.
Sorry, I didn't mean the transfers. You had enough transfers, did you?
I did, yes, exactly. So I was debating whether to try and get the 3rd Liverpool player into my team. That was my original plan. But to be honest with you, just because I saw, Man City being at home and just because of his form, that's why I decided on Aguero. And I knew there was still one more week, before this double game week, which I'm sure we'll go on to. But I thought there's one more week to do that, right? I can reshuffle to get that 3rd Liverpool player. So I thought, why not just go for it? Because, I wanted to try and catch up the league, let's say. But Grealish got 10 points again. I was quite surprised about that, actually. I wasn't really banking on Grealish doing anything this week. But Traore...
Great finish from Grealish.
Oh, fantastic. He keeps going from strength to strength, this guy. And he is carrying Aston Villa at the moment because they really don't have much of a threat up front. Traore had a great game, but he was left on the bench. So that's 10 points, I've lost there. But overall, I think it was Nick Pope that really, really stood out to me as well. He obviously saved the Jamie Vardy penalty, and got those extra bonus points. So
nice
quite happy with that.
Pope there.
Exactly.
If you did have Vardy on the bench, you'd have got the 10 from Traore. That would have been you on 80 for the week. But Vardy really, he's upset a lot of people there with that penalty miss. It was a poor penalty as well. He just hit it just very nonchalantly for the keeper's left. Wonderful save, but it was a lovely height. It's very disappointing, to be honest.
It was, and we were talking about, the downfall of Leicester of late, and they really seem to be stuck in a rut a little bit. And so I think there's going to be a lot of people transferring a lot of Leicester players in. I can see already, Jamie Vardy is in the top. He's actually the 3rd most transferred out this week, Jamie Vardy. So people are literally not only giving up on, let's say, Maddison, Soyuncu, Perez, there are a lot of popular players in the Leicester team. They're actually giving up on the main man, Jamie Vardy, and I think that could be a mistake. I think it's a bit too soon to write him off. But other Leicester players, certainly, I can see that being a trend.
And you've got 3 Leicester players in your team, though, Ricky. You've got Soyuncu, Perez, and Vardy. Do you feel that's too many to have at this stage with them struggling slightly?
And exactly. Perez was on his last chance. I got him in after he had a good run of games, but he's just too inconsistent. And I've had him earlier in the season as well, so I've done the same thing again, and he's never really come up trumps for me. So I'll definitely be reducing that Leicester head count in my team for sure.
And is that the same across the call, gents? Leicester lost 3 in the last 5. Is everyone thinking to get away from Leicester? Is Vardy out the right way to go, or is it one of the others?
Well, I'm going to keep him in. I think, he's got 5 points from the last 4 games, but with the home game coming up, and I guess no disrespect to West Ham, I do think he'll turn it on again. So I'm loath to get rid of him because I know as soon as I do, he'll start banging him in again.
Yeah. And then Captain Russ, you've slipped to third in the league. You've got lowly 30